The Soul Chaperone, written by Jason M. Burns. Narrated by Jason M. Burns. Season 1, A Tough Nut to Crack. Episode 15, Road Rage. I always loved the lodge in the winter. The floor-to-ceiling fireplace in the common area is roaring all day and night. With a face of naturally flattened river stones, it provides a sort of spiritual warmth that makes you connected to the space on a non-surface level. It's a big reason why we decided to get married here. I find Anna sitting on the hearth. Her face absorbs the glow of the flames. The firelight makes her appear even more beautiful than I remember. I didn't think that was possible, so I hang back by the check-in desk and just observe. I am a fly on a wall. I am a spectator. I am the most thankful man in the world. It takes me a minute to realize that Anna is alone. Since the sprint to the altar began, there hasn't been more than a few bathroom breaks to ourselves. Her family is big, like cult on a commune big, and with every aunt and uncle, niece and nephew, brother and sister visiting from out of town, they've all been staying with us on account of our place being the only inn in the White Mountains with a permanent vacancy. Just last night I walked in on her mother hand-washing her knee-high stockings in one of our bathroom sinks. And yet, with all of the chaos swirling around us, I'm eager to get the show on the road. Not to see them off, but to be able to call Anna my wife once and for all. I approach her. As I get closer, I can see her auburn eyes twinkling in the rhythmic flickering of the fireplace. I want to marry her right now. She sees me as I get close enough to feel the heat from the fire. Her expression is a mixing of disappointment and relief. "What are you doing here?" she asks, standing to meet my loving gaze. I take her hands in my own. "I know it's only a few hours away, but I couldn't wait until tonight to see you." Anna nervously looks around the lobby. She is as frightened of her mother as I am, and she lives in constant fear of her mother's damning judgment. "You shouldn't have come here. It's bad luck for us to see each other before the wedding." I wave off the outdated custom. I have had terrible luck my whole life. That is, until I met you. Now that we're together, there's no such thing as bad. Every day from here on out is going to be better than good. They're going to be great. Anna smiles. She leans in to kiss me, but stops before our lips touch. Instead, she gently caresses my face with her fingertips and then quietly whispers, "Goodbye." "Where are you going?" I say, confused. Without saying a word, Anna turns away from me and climbs up on a large cast iron table that is built into the face of the fireplace. I don't remember seeing this structure when I arrived a few minutes ago, or when we first toured the wedding venue. Even still, it's here now, and she is sitting on it, waving to me. Before I can ask Anna what she is doing, gears turn like chattering teeth and the table moves, entering the blazing fireplace inch by inch. Anna lays down, feet facing the flames. As her toes are toasted by the pyre, I try to scream for help, but I am no longer an active participant in the nightmare. I watch as she is cremated in the lobby of our love. "You alive?" a chittering voice says from over the lodge's PA system. I look to Anna's body hidden inside the flames. She doesn't respond. "Come on, Gray, open those peepers. You can't have your cut if you're dead." I stumble. My right leg is suddenly searing. "My cut of what?" "The loot," the voice responds, now closer than the overhead speakers, though I can't quite decipher where it is coming from. "The spoils. The big old booty that made you so snooty." Jermaine. My eyes open and I'm staring up at the stars. My heart skips a beat because I think I'm back at Violet's planetarium. The cool mountain breeze advises otherwise. Pain radiates up from my right leg. My chest feels heavy. Against my brain's best wishes, I manage to lift my head just enough to look down the length of my body and quickly figure out what is ailing my rib cage. There's a squirrel standing on it. "Thank Christ," Jermaine says, pacing nervously on my anatomy. "The way you flew out of that windshield, I thought for sure you'd be at least a vegetable." The Jeep. Rod the Ranger. The accident. I remember now. I turn ever so slowly to take in the leftovers of the wreck. The Jeep looks like a piece of origami folded up by the hands of a rebellious child. On the passenger side, the windshield is nothing but a pocket of space that the Kool-Aid Man could have caused. But I know better. It was my head and my body that tore a hole through the glass. Meanwhile, it's splintered like an intricate spider's web on the driver's side. But through the complex design, I am still able to make out Rod the Ranger slumped over the steering wheel. I try to sit up, but each calculated contraction of muscle hurts worse than anything I have ever felt. Jermaine pushes me back down to the ground with his tiny paws. Whoa, take it easy. You're in no shape to be anybody's hero. I need to make sure he's alive, I managed to say through gritted teeth. If anyone would know if he were dead, it'd be you, right? That's actually true. I would have seen the beam of light hailing me to the scene. Besides, I can see the bone sticking out of your leg, Jermaine says. You ain't chaperoning anybody. I slither to the side to look down at my leg. Midway between my knee and my ankle, about 2 inches worth of my fibula is poking out of my flesh like a stunned gopher caught in the stare of a hungry tomcat. The sight immediately causes me to retch, and I shower a good portion of the roadside with a combination of whiskey and stomach acid. Yep, ain't a pretty sight, that's for sure, Jermaine confirms while still perched atop my chest. While I have you, though, I just want to apologize for not telling you the truth about those paintings. My head spins. Paintings? Jermaine nods up and down. I heard you and my boy talking. The Kangamangas Art Expo. That was totally me. I'm the Kangamangas Bandit. I sold all but one of the paintings. Couldn't get anyone to pony up squat for that last one, but I still have the money. The driver's side door of the Jeep creaks open, the muscle behind it more powerful than the twisted components hidden beneath the accordion-like exterior. Rod the Ranger's left boot touches down on the gravel, and then the right. He staggers out of the Jeep, nearly tumbling forward, but shifting his weight just enough to stay upright. A deep gorge of a gash has been carved into his forehead, while a river of blood surges downstream, flooding his eyes. He wipes it away and surveys the scene. Gray, he calls out, his voice meek and childlike. You alive? In theory, I respond, the words coming out of me softly. Rod the Ranger drags himself over to me, the soles of his boots scraping along the gravel and broken glass. He stops 6 feet away, puzzled by what he sees. He's forced to wipe his eyes clear of his own blood for a second time. Rod the Ranger pauses, dropping to one knee as he swims in what is surely a concussed state. Is there a squirrel standing on you? Don't worry, I say, though after getting a look at my leg, I am so deep in worry I'm practically drowning in it. It's just Jermaine. Oh. It takes a moment for Rod the Ranger to realize how strange my response is. Wait, you know a squirrel named Jermaine? Jermaine turns to face Rod the Ranger. No, he knows a guy hiding out in a squirrel, and so do you. Rod the Ranger wobbles and collapses backwards, landing on his ass. I know that voice. Yep, you sure do, Jermaine says. We spent many nights during my late shift shooting the shit while you raided my jerky aisle. I knew it, I say with as much conviction as my anguished body can muster. Rod the Ranger turns to me. But isn't he dead? Yeah, but the question we need to be asking is... I turn and look into Jermaine's inky black eyes. What in the hell of hells are you doing here? Looking for you, he responds instantly. Between the accident, the concussion, and the above-the-fold headline that life continues after death, Rod the Ranger has a difficult time processing what will eventually become a night that he will never forget. He lies down on the pavement, curling into the fetal position. Although my senses are dulled from the pain emanating from my right leg, I can still hear him whispering his mother's name softly to himself. Jermaine picks up where he left off. It came to the house. I tried to lay low in the backyard, but that woman... she knew I was there. It was like she could feel me. The real me. So you thought you'd just, drive us off the road to get our attention? I ask. Jermaine scoffs. Give me some credit. That's not what happened. The woman sent her mist monster after me. I was hightailing it out of there and just happened to run directly into your path. My eyes go wide. The spigoi? It was at the house? Silver smoke with a malignant mumbo-jumbo vibe? I nod. Yeah. It tore through the place and then came for me. I feel my heart flutter in my chest, and I wonder if Jermaine can feel it through his feet. Did it follow you? Before the robber-turned-rodent can respond, Rod the Ranger cries out from his catatonic crouch. What the hell is that thing? I follow his gaze down the road where I spy a swirling cloud of silver smoke churning with supernatural life between two streetlights. Jermaine takes one look at the sinister sight and leaps off of my chest, scurrying into a nearby sewer drain. Rod the Ranger is on his feet and by my side in the same time it takes for the smoke to settle to the pavement. Seriously, he says, unable to take his eyes off of it. What is it? The thing sent to kill me is all I can muster. I assume Rod the Ranger can see the spigoi now because I must have pulled back the curtain wide enough for him to have a look. Truth be told, I feel kinda bad about that. Ignorance is bliss for a reason. I hear him unsnap his firearm. What are you doing? I ask him as he pulls his gun from the holster. Put that thing away and get the hell out of here. The spigoi drifts closer, its gaseous particles forming the shape of a humanoid figure, faceless and without any defining features. It's easily 8 feet tall and as wide as Rod's Jeep before we mangled it against the guardrail. If I weren't about to die, the spectral spectacle would haunt my dreams from this night forward. I'm not leaving you, Rod says, putting himself between me and the monster. He raises his gun, aiming it at the spigoi. I owe you this much. I swat at Rod's legs, but he's just out of my reach. You don't know what you're dealing with. Then tell me, he demands, his hands shaking as the spigoi creeps closer. The hell if I know? I've already come to terms with my end, though. I can be with my wife again, and that's just fine by me. Now please, go. Rod stands firm, the last person I'd have ever expected to become my guardian angel. No. With that one-syllable piece of defiance, Rod's nerves go into hibernation and his training takes over. He fires his weapon at the spigoi, emptying the entire clip into it. But this is no rabid fox. The bullets are absorbed into the creature and expelled at its base, clanging innocently off of the road. Before Rod can implement a plan B, tendrils lash out from the spigoi, wrapping around him. I watch helplessly as Rod is lifted up off of the ground and hurled the distance of a city block, landing somewhere in the surrounding forest. I wait for a beacon of light, but see none. No longer impeded on its murderous mission, the spigoi swirls around me, engulfing me in its ever-present nothingness. I turn my head to the side, accepting my fate but not wanting to watch it in real time. I spot Jermaine hiding out in the nearby drain. I'm sorry, he says, ducking back into the shadows of the sewer. This whole thing may be on me. The spigoi's humanoid silhouette disperses and it's once again a cloud. It enters me through every opening in my body, even the microscopic pores that make my skin a breathable, fleshy fabric. I feel a rush of cold as I begin to black out. I guess this is what the deathly touch of a soul vampire feels like, just before it sucks your spirit dry. Thank you for listening. For more information, visit thesoulchaperone.com.